Oh, another week, another banger of an episode from House of the Dragon, a show that just keeps giving us, they keep giving us the good content. This week's episode finally, officially, kind of, sort of, pretty much, yes, guaranteed, kicked off the Dance of the Dragons. The war has finally, officially started. Blood has been spilt. Dragons have fought. And this episode actually shocked me, because this episode kind of depicted a battle that I thought was going to be the season finale of this season. So now I'm kind of mind blown. I don't really know how much they're going to cover this season, but I'm excited. So per usual, I'm going to talk about the episode. I'm going to go into very detailed stuff here, so spoiler alert ahead. I am not going to cover every single minute of this episode, though, just the stuff that is relevant to what I'm thinking about right now. Stuff that has really stuck with me, okay? This is not like a detailed scripted breakdown of the episode. If you want that, go watch somebody better than me, I guess. So the entire episode is pretty much a slow build up to a battle that we kind of know is coming. So we get a bunch of different stories here. First things first, we get Aegon, who is still being king, right? He's being the king of Westeros, trying to manage this war. There's only one problem. It's that nobody really takes him seriously. Everybody's kind of plotting the war, plotting the battles, plotting the politics of Westeros without really consulting him, because A, they don't fear him, they don't see him as this imposing ruler, and B, they think he's an idiot, so there's no real point to doing it. And Aegon, being this, kind of naive kid, really, is, put off by that and very annoyed, and that causes something to happen later in the episode that we'll talk about. You also get in this episode more of Daemon at Harrenhal just kind of losing his mind. I really like how they threw this plot in here, because in the books and in the story of the Dance of the Dragons, there is a long period of time where Daemon is just kind of hanging out at Harrenhal, and there's not a lot of detail about what's really going on there, besides that he's at Harrenhal raising an army. Now we got like this weird, interesting plot that's not in the books of Daemon kind of losing his mind and really coming to terms with what his place in this war and this world really is, which definitely has some significance to where his story is ultimately going to go, which is exciting. I really love kind of like the scheming here of trying to build an army. I like when he meets with the young Lord of Riverrun, right? That whole sequence is great. There's a lot of funny stuff here, and yet again, Matt Smith is brilliant. Okay, let's just get to the end of the episode. There's other stuff that happens, but let's just get to the end. The Battle of Rook's Rest. So Rook's Rest is this small little castle that is the closest landmass castle on Westeros that looks towards Dragonstone, right? It's the closest landmass to Dragonstone. And Criston Cole, Criston the Prick, he takes his army that he has raised, that he has taken a bunch of different castles with already, and he's going to Rook's Rest, which is a little confusing to everybody in the show because they all figured they would go to Harrenhal because it is the most strategic point of the war. Instead, they go to Rook's Rest. And once they go to Rook's Rest, Rhaenyra returns to Dragonstone and they tell her, hey, they're attacking this castle and they're our allies, so we have to go send the dragon. And Rhaenyra's like, I'll go. And they go, no, that's stupid. You're the queen. You stay here. Her son, Jace, goes, I'll go. And she goes, nope, that's stupid. You're the heir. And I've already lost one kid. And then Rhaenys, the queen that never was, one of the best characters in this entire show, a character that probably should have been the queen of Westeros, and it probably would have saved everybody in this it would have saved a lot of lives. It would have fixed a lot of problems. It would have prevented Game of Thrones from happening, if you really think about it. Would have been a whole different line of succession. But Rhaenys says, I'm going on my dragon, Meleys, who's one of the best dragons, one of the biggest dragons in the show, and they're gonna go and help out the Blacks at Rook's Rest, at the castle that's being attacked. They're gonna go after Criston Cole. So they go, but guess what? It is a trap. Rhaenys goes, she's burning the army, but there is a secret plan here. Aemond, who rides Vhagar. Aemond, who's the most badass character in, like, the whole show, other than maybe Daemon, but him who rides the biggest dragon in the entire Game of Thrones universe is actually hiding, ready to attack. They wanted to bring out a dragon from the Blacks so Vhagar could kill it and they could remove a dragon from the war. It is a brilliant plan that probably would have worked out, but remember earlier when I was talking about Aegon the king? Well, he's a little jealous fuck, and he wants to go ahead and help the war effort and make everybody believe that he's actually a lot stronger and more badass than he really is. So what does he do? He goes and gets drunk and he goes to his dragon, Sunfire, and they have this cute little scene where Sunfire's like nudging him with his nose like he's some little puppy dog. It's really some wholesome stuff. I want a dragon. I want my own pet dragon. But he takes Sunfire and he flies him to Rook's Rest, which is just a terrible decision, and it's really funny because in the book it's posed as that Aegon was supposed to be there, that he was supposed to be in this battle. It's not posed as that he was an idiot that showed up and it was just dumb. You just assume he was supposed to be there in the battle in the book, but it is a lot smarter for them to be like, why would the king go out on Dragonback when they had Aemond? That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And that's why the show does it a little bit differently here. He goes out because he's a drunk fool. And Aemond sees him flying in the battle, and Aemond, who is now the heir, because they didn't do Maelor in the show. There's supposed to be another son of Aegon called Maelor, but in this universe, in this show, he's called Maelor the Missing because he's not there. So Aemond is the heir at the moment, I think, unless unless the daughter would get the throne. I mean, that would be kind of silly, right? So Aemon is just like, let him go die. If he wants to get himself killed, let him go. And he goes and he fights Rhaenys, and guess what? Rhaenys kicks Aegon's ass, all right? Sunfire is getting absolutely ripped apart in the battle. He is going to die, and then Aemon comes in, and Aegon's like, yes, Aemon, you're coming here to save me. And Aemon's just like, Dracarys, and yeah, he burns the fuck out of his brother. So Sunfire flies down to the ground and explodes. Aegon is presumably dead. He's not dead, but we'll get more on that in a little bit. And then Aemon and Rhaenys have a big fight in the sky. Rhaenys, who actually puts up a good fight. I mean, I think Meleys, her dragon, probably could have beaten Vhagar. There's one thing about this show that not a lot of people talk about, is that, yeah, Vhagar is the biggest dragon, and they keep talking about this dragon like it's the biggest, strongest. It is the biggest nuclear bomb ever. We cannot compete with it. But the one thing that we constantly see about Vhagar is that it's a very slow dragon. Just because it's big doesn't really mean anything. It's very, very slow, meaning that Rhaenys or Daemon, who have kind of like these faster, younger dragons and are also skilled dragon riders, should be able to legitimately kill Vhagar. And in this episode, they kind of show that Meleys kind of had the upper hand, and the only reason she lost was from some chicanery, some trickery. Just an interesting thing. I also think one thing I was really thinking about when I watched this show, when I read the book, I wasn't thinking too much about it, but I feel like one way this war could have ended really fast is if literally on the first day, Rhaenyra sent Daemon, Rhaenys, Jace, all of the dragons that they had to King's Landing and said, all we gotta do is kill Vhagar. And that's it. We win. They can't compete with us. A little bit of a plot hole there, because everything outside of that is just a mess. Like, if Rhaenys kills Aemon here and Vhagar dies, the war's over. That's it. Just an interesting food for thought. But we get a great scene of Vhagar chomping down on Meleys' throat as Meleys is just looking at Rhaenys, and there's just this sadness, but also this understanding that they're both warriors, and this is how they were meant to die. And Rhaenys goes out, not sad, not, like, angry, but just kind of content that this was the life that she was given. This is the life that maybe she didn't want. She wanted to be the queen. That didn't happen, so now she gets to die fighting for a queen. Kind of a beautiful metaphor, a beautiful ending. Then we get a great scene where Aemon finds Aegon, and he's, like, gonna kill him, and then Kristen the prick finds him, and he goes, what are you doing? And yeah, that's the episode. So, what happens now? Well, I guess Aegon is now going to be a vegetable, and Aemon's gonna be sort of king. The war is going to explode even further, and I cannot wait. That's the video, guys. Thank you guys for watching. What do you think of the episode? Let me know down below. Make sure to like this video, subscribe for more ton of notifications. I'll see you in the next one.